Denver Nuggets currently, as we record this, they are up. Let's see here. Let me do the old math-a-rooney. They're up 23 points at halftime over the Washington Wizards. So they're having themselves an okay return from action. Finally back to full health here. So they're on a back-to-back versus the Blazers. Didn't play on Thursday. Why are you taking this very clearly pivoting towards the draft Portland Trailblazers team versus the defending champs?
Yeah, it's just it goes against what I believe in terms of how much I do actually believe in the Denver Nuggets compared to, I don't know, everybody else in the NBA, but that's more of a playoff thing. From what I've seen from Denver this year, they're just not great on back to backs, and you've seen this up close. The second half of back to backs with the rest disadvantage so far this year, they're 1-6 against the spread, which I believe by percentage is the worst cover rate in the NBA right now. Weird thing to say about a team who we all see as a contender, and rightfully so. They're the defending champions, but that's where they are. Portland 6-9 with the rest advantage, so not great, but also not not 1-6 like Denver was. Portland's going to be without Malcolm Brogdon, without Scoot Henderson, which I think Scoot's a talented young player, but he's not impacting winning yet, and that's okay. That's just the situation that he's kind of in right now. So I don't think that's dire. But you still have Anthony Simons, who is liable to go off any night that he's on the court, especially when he's going to have the high usage that he will in this game. DeAndre Ayton, we'll see. Jeremy Grant against his former team. Maybe there'll be something there. But ultimately, it's just the body of work that Denver has put forth these last 4 or so months. Just they haven't been a great cover. You've seen this up close, Matt. Like they're just not a team from a betting standpoint that you could always rely on. They actually pissed me off before the All-Star break because I had them to cover against the Kings, and they just blew that one. Not only did they not cover, they didn't even win the game. This is at home, and this was something I had in a parlay, and that was very annoying. So I still like them to win this game against Portland. I wouldn't dare pick against them in terms of the result. Put them in a money line, put them in a parlay if you wish. The money line and parlay if you wish, but against Portland, I think Portland's going to cover this. Maybe it's a backdoor cover, but maybe Denver wins by 7-8 points here.
Denver on the second half of back-to-back this season, 3-6-1 against the spread. And when this is maybe the more telling stat. I like this one quite a bit. When they are a double-digit favorite, Denver Nuggets are 3-6-1 ATS. They're 3-7 ATS on the second night of a back-to-back, 3-6-1 ATS, 33% when they are favored by double digits this season. So the problem I think that the Nuggets are creating for bookmakers in terms of the line is, one, they're now a more public team after winning the title, right? So they're no longer a team that are going to get that market depression because of being a lesser known. They're not a marquee team. That's kind of gone because they won the title. The book is out on them. 2, their winning percentage does not match their point differential. So it really just kind of comes down to like, no. They absolutely win the game. But with a lot of teams, if your point differential is lower, your win percentage is a little bit more variant, right? There's ways to categorize this as like luck, where the Nuggets are lucky to have the record that they do. I don't know that that's necessarily applicable because I think there's 2 different ways that this kind of manifests. You can be a team that, your point differential is low, but your winning percentage is high because you got lucky and just won some coin flip games, or you had these kind of things, or you have some bad blowouts that kind of impact your margin there. But those things are more indicative that you should lose a little bit more. Like if you do get blown out enough to impact your point differential, that should lead to more losses. The Nuggets, I think, are a little bit different, where they do win. Like their win probability game by game over the course of 48 minutes is very high on average. Like if we tracked what win percentage was game by game over the course of the 48 minutes, if we looked for an average of that, it would be more in line with the power rating, I think, that this team gets. However, that's not necessarily indicative of actually how the margin goes. They do let teams hang around. They don't blow teams out. They do have a stint where the starters will kind of struggle. The starters are basically the exact same point differential that they were last year. So if it feels like the Nuggets still feel like this team that could win the title, they absolutely are. It's just that the margin is a little bit slimmer than last year. And so when we have a spot where they're on a back-to-back, even coming out of the All-Star break, and they're on the road, and they're a double-digit favorite. We've got this kind of circled in a really good spot here. I totally agree with you. I think this is a really good spot for the Blazers.